Hello and welcome to my channel, and this is the video showcase of More Than Meets the Eye Swerve done in 3D printing in Anycubic resin. I've done this Swerve as part of a timed challenge back in January. It took me 5.5 hours to complete him from the start to the end, and exporting the files took a few more hours afterwards, but I was able to do it, get him printed within 24 hours, which I am very happy about. So let's quickly take a 360 of the figure. He is quite accurate to how he looked in the comics. His wheels on the legs should be rotated backwards at an angle instead of flat against the back. But again, I'm quite happy with how this looks. This adds support to the heel and he stands perfectly, so I couldn't be happier. And I managed to add ankle rockers as well, which I'm very happy about. Let's take a look at the accessory. The accessory he has is my first blaster from More Than Meets the Eye comics. I printed it in 2 parts. That way I wasn't losing any detail when I was printing these out, because I put them flat on the print bed, and there's a hole in between the 2 pieces for a nail to go through, and that attaches both pieces nicely. And I'm quite happy with how the detail on the blaster came out as well. It's quite small. It says my first blaster on the side, and unfortunately the smaller line underneath that word wasn't able to come out from my printer, but it is there in the file, so if you have a high precision printer then you'd be able to see that through, I believe. I'm really happy with how these blasters turned out, and I wouldn't imagine any More Than Meets the Eye Swerve displayed without that blaster in hand. So let's talk through articulation really quickly. For the head, Swerve being Swerve, his head is obstructed by the top of his hood. So my work around it is you pull his chest outwards and his head is on the ball joint, so you adjust his head however you want and then push it back in. Another gimmick I've put into the figure is, since it's on the ball joint and the back you can't see it, I've taken inspiration from sort of the Lego minifigures in a way where there's a hidden head at the back of his head, so you can see Swerve smiling and being all happy and everything. But in the panel where he is holding my first blaster, he is sporting a very, very serious face. So to achieve that look, grab his head and rotate it 360 degrees. Completely hides that smiley look, and you have that serious, determined face. Push it back in and you're all good to go. There is a little notch on the side of the chest piece for your little nails to go in, and you pull it out, and that's for easy access with the head. For articulation for the arms, it goes all the way round. His hinge slightly lower, but the arms go all the way out. There is a bicep swivel, and there is an in and out on the wrists. He has a hip swivel. Legs kick out slightly on my version, but on the version that I've put out on Cult 3D, he is able to kick out a lot more. Since this is my first copy and it was obstructed by the hip piece. I did amend this in the retool of Swerve in the form of More Than Meets the Eye crankcase, where he is able to kick up 90 degrees, and that is what the file is able to do in the one that I've uploaded in Cult 3D. So let's continue with the articulation. He has a thigh swivel, bend at the knee, and again up and down on the toe, and the ankle rocker as well. So he packs quite a good amount of articulation within this little figure, and I'm quite happy with how he looks. So for transformation, it's very simple. So flip his fists inwards. His head is already hidden when you flip him around. Pull his wheels outwards, fold his toes downwards, and then hinge it upwards. There is a port on the leg and a peg at the back of the alt mode, so just peg it in and that will lock the vehicle mode in place. Do that on the other side as well. and the wheel will rest against the wrist, and that would sort of hold in place. Straighten it out, and there you have More Than Meets the Eye Swerve in his alt mode. This is such a simple transformation, and that is part of the reason why I was able to do it in 5.5 hours. I'm quite happy to say that he rolls perfectly as well. So for 5.5 hours work, I'm very happy with how this turned out. I love Swerve. I missed out on the Legends version of it, so I'm very happy to finally have a More Than Meets the Eye Swerve in my collection. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.